Okay, we're in the home stretch, 2 weeks and 2 days away from the presidential election. Now, many of you have emailed and asked me whom I will vote for. Since I tell you what I think about most things, I figured I shouldn't dodge this one. So let me tell you whom I will vote for and why. I think we have two good candidates. Both are serious people with an obvious commitment to the United States. Both are knowledgeable and substantive. Both talk about reaching across party lines to solve the country's problems. But I think one is distinctly better for our times. As I've watched John McCain discuss the current economic crisis, I couldn't help but think that he was really out of his element. His response to questions about the crisis and the rescue package tended to all be about cutting taxes, keeping government small, ending earmark spending. This is a recitation of 30-year-old Republican orthodoxy and feels irrelevant to the problems we face today. To get a sense of how divorced from reality McCain is on economics, consider this. He is still promising to balance the federal budget by the end of his first term while offering large new tax cuts. In reality, the deficit is likely to be $1 trillion. Balancing it would require not good government policies, but magic. On foreign policy, McCain is a relentless warrior. He wants to fight in Iraq, openly threatens to bomb Iran, is skeptical of the Bush administration's diplomacy with North Korea. He wants to kick Russia out of the G8, humiliate China by keeping it also out of that body. He sees a world in which a league of democracies will tussle with an alliance of autocracies. It's a Cold War strategy for a post-Cold War world. By contrast, Barack Obama has been calm, sensible, and intelligent on both economics and foreign policy. His proposals to respond to the financial crisis have been careful, measured, and attuned to the moment we're in. Some of them have been adopted by the Bush administration already. He wants limited tax cuts for the middle class, but also major new investments in infrastructure and alternate energy. On foreign policy, he argues for greater international cooperation and the aggressive use of diplomacy. He sees a world in which America doesn't have to fight with everyone and should instead work with other countries to solve the common problems we all face. I repeat, these are two good men, but with two very different views of the world. John McCain represents the best of America's past, and Barack Obama, the hope of the future, the hope of a country that can make big changes and live out one of its greatest promises of equal opportunities for all Americans, of every caste, creed, and color. And America has always been a country that looks forward. So I will be voting for Barack Obama on Election Day this year. That's it for this week. But before I go, I want to thank you for all your emails. Last week I asked you what country you thought would come out best from this economic crisis we're in. Answers came from all over the world, and many of you were champions of your own economies. Sweden got many votes, as did Canada, and a number of oil-based economies fared well. But the winner was China. Viewers of this program are greatly impressed with its economic growth and management, and they don't expect it to slow down that much. Now, my question for you this week is, how long do you think this downturn will last? I'll give you two choices, the two most divergent predictions I've heard from economists this week. Will it end within 1 year, or will it take 4 years? A lengthy slog in which we slowly rebuild a more sound and solid financial system. Also, I want to recommend a book written by Joe Nocera, New York Times columnist and one of our panelists. Back in 1995, he wrote a book called A Piece of the Action. It's a wonderfully clear and understandable book explaining exactly how Americans became so addicted to credit and how Wall Street profited from that addiction. I think you'll like it. Remember, you can email me at fareedzakariagps@cnn.com. You can also visit our website, cnn.com/GPS, for highlights from this program. And you can always find our weekly podcast on the website. That's it. Thank you, and I will see you next week.